Welcome to week number 10 of my Survivor review. Whew. Now, out of the gate, I want to apologize for posting this late. I had a little bout with food poisoning. You see, I bought this giant bag of dates here, and I thought, that sounds good right about now. So I had 7 or 8 of these things, and I've been paying for it ever since. Normally I have a cast iron stomach, I can eat anything. In fact, I haven't puked since my early 20s when I was doing my hard partying back then. But I guess that streak is over. So enough of that. It's time to man up. It's time to nut up. It's time to put on my big girl panties and maybe a pair of adult diapers. And let's do this, the Survivor Review, week 10. Oh yeah! Now last week, Troyzan tweeted me, once again, SurvivorTrev comes through with an outstanding Survivor One World recap. But I'm bummed. What are you gonna do without your
J
voice?
J
Voice this.
J
Voice that. That's all I'm hearing about. It's
J
voice. Listen, Troyzan, sometimes you just gotta rip off the Band-Aid. There will be no more
J
voice on this program. So strangely enough, the show starts out with a recap. And basically what they're trying to get across is that Kim is in control of this game. So the survivors return back to camp after tribal council, and Troyzan is pissed off. He's been trying to get the girls to flip, but no one's buying what he's selling, and he's not too happy about it. So Sabrina tells Troyzan, hey, it is what it is. Which is really easy to say when the is in your favor. Which prompts Jeff Probst to tweet during the interactive living room, it is what it is. I hate that saying. Not sure why, it's just so passive. It is what it is. Jeff, it is what it is. So while Troyzan is getting into it with the girls around camp at night, all I'm thinking to myself is, wow, Christina's got that sexy night vision eye thing going on again. So up next, the aliens return, and they take back alien Cat and replace her with regular Cat. Apparently the experiments are complete. Now, we don't get to see any of this because this happens during the commercial break, but trust me, it happens. So we come back from commercial break, and it's the next day, and Troyzan is still pissed. In his confessional, he's like, girls, they're like real-life girls. Once they get their house and their stuff, then they don't need you anymore. Matilda, I loved you! Why did you break my heart? Monkeys don't do this! Monkeys love you unconditionally! Well, he didn't say the monkeys and Matilda part, but he did say the house and stuff part, which makes me think we're touching a nerve on poor Troyzan here. So then it's time for the reward challenge. And this one is a Survivor staple. It's a Survivor auction, which strangely enough is not sponsored by eBay. And that sounds like a missed opportunity to me. Anyway, so the rules are simple. You get $500, you can't share any of your money or anything you win in the auction, and you have to bid in $20 increments. So there are a lot of items that are bid on, but here are the highlights. Alicia bids $20 on a shower that includes a toothbrush. Kat wants it too, so she bids $20. But obviously you have to bid more than the previous bid, so she bids $30. But if you remember, you can only bid in $20 increments. So you can see the gears grinding, and then Kat's brain cells screech to a halt. Dumbfounded and
bum-puzzled.
Kat doesn't know what to do. So Kim swoops in, and for $40, she gets herself a shower and a set of clean teeth. So then I bid $500 if I can wash Kim's back. What? I'm a man. I've got needs. So then Kat wins a BLT for $180. And Kat is amazed that there's bacon in her BLT. It's not just bread, lettuce, and tomato. There's bacon in there. So while this auction is going on, Kim is taking her shower. And guess what comes up next? Chocolate and peanut butter. And it wouldn't be Survivor if the naked girl didn't get her chocolate and peanut butter. So Kim wins that auction. So at this point, Tarzan hasn't bid on anything. He wants to keep the $500 to get his shocks fixed on his Jeep. I guess he doesn't have any plans to win $1 million. And I thought Tarzan was a plastic surgeon. Don't they make good money? Unless when Tarzan says he's a plastic surgeon, he means that he takes apart and puts together Legos or builds model planes. I don't know. But Troyzan breaks down because Alicia buys her letter from home for $500, and Troyzan decides to do the same thing. Now, I would have loved to have heard the craziness contained in that letter. I'm still looking for something to top bringing your assistant coach as your loved one. That's a tough one to beat. So as you can see here, Troyzan is visibly moved. He wants a letter from home too. But he's a big Survivor fan, and he knows a Survivor auction always includes an advantage at the next immunity challenge. And he needs that more than a letter from home. So he spends the majority of his money on that advantage. Now, the Survivor auction is a lot like the game of Survivor. There's a lot of opportunities, and you don't know when it's going to end. Christina went into the auction with $500, and she left the auction with $500. So is she the kind of player that's going to have a trump card in her pocket, but run out of time to actually play that trump card? We'll see. So the auction ends, everybody goes back to camp, and Troyzan's looking for the hidden immunity idol. That might not exist, but he's not taking any chances. And then it's time for the immunity challenge. And apparently, Leaf has gotten into the girl's makeup. Now this challenge is a throwback to previous challenges. The first part is untying a knot. The second part is the very popular backyard game of bouncing a coconut off of a net into a target. And the third stage is slingshotting a coconut onto a board and getting 3 in a row. Now because of Troyzan's purchase in the auction, he gets to skip stage 1 of this challenge. He wins stage 2 and moves on to the finals. And he's hooting and hollering because he's happy that he might get his much-needed immunity. Which prompts Chelsea to say, "Shut up!" Which reminds me, she's always good for shut up, or shut the f
make love
up. So when it's all said and done, Troyzan wins much-needed immunity. And he starts to gloat. So the survivors go back to camp, and Troyzan approaches Troyzan and says, "Hey look, you gotta be noble when you win. Don't gloat." To which Troyzan responds, "Hey, I'm a competitive guy. I can't turn off my personality midstream." I hear you, Troyzan. I can't stop midstream either. I hear girls can pinch it off midstream, but it's a near impossibility for a guy to do it. So anyway, Kim and Chelsea mark Troyzan and Leaf as next to go. Meanwhile, Troyzan has common sense for sale. Common sense? You want to buy some common sense? 10% off? But no one's buying. So Troyzan is telling everybody that Kim, Chelsea, Sabrina, and Kat are the top 4. So you could go from 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th place to final 3, 4, or 5. Now that's a pretty good deal. But I can see the other side of this coin. It'd be a good deal if you didn't spend the past couple of days pissing everybody off, and you're somewhat of an immunity threat. So the lesson of the day is, if you're feeling angry on Survivor, turn your frown upside down and try and win friends instead of pissing people off. And underplay how much of a threat you are. So then it's time for Tribal Council. Troyzan makes a last-ditch effort to rally Leaf, Troyzan, Christina, and Alicia to get rid of Kim. And during this, he gets into a great argument with Sabrina.
Which makes Juror J laugh. Ba-dang-a-dang!
So when it's all said and done and the votes are tallied, Leaf is gone. Which reminds me, hold on a second, I gotta call my girlfriend. Hey babe, it's me. Yeah, you remember that little man on Survivor? Yeah, he got voted out tonight. Which pisses me off because all season, I was waiting for him to get into the boat. Well, you know, that thing you're always telling me that would really make you happy? I found the little man, but I never found the little man in the boat. So, do I get like partial credit? Hello? Hello? Girls. So what's going to happen next week on Survivor? I think we're going to lose a Zan. So before we wrap this thing up, let's check what's happening on Twitter. Apparently, Survivor Shannon retweeted the link to my show last week. Survivor Shannon? Is she hot? Survivor Shannon. It's a dude. Well, thank you anyway, Mr. Survivor Shannon, sir. The Korean goddess Christina Cha tweets, "Where's my Survivor review?" Sorry, Christina. I was late last week, and I'm really going to be late this week. So as this episode draws to a close, what you need to do right now is hit the subscribe button right up here. You need to follow me on Twitter at SurvivorTrev. I mean, Christina does, and so does Troyzan. And if that's not enough, we have an alert. From the rooster, Matt Quinlan. Matt tweets, "Alert! Ridiculous Twitter injustice. Hilarious Survivor superfan and community contributor SurvivorTrev having only 59 followers? Hashtag follow him." Whoa, I'm blown away. Because of Matt's efforts, I now have 88 Twitter followers. My short-term goal, 100. Let's see if we can do this. The Rooster also tweeted, "If you like Survivor and laughing, watch SurvivorTrev's weekly recap show. The Polynesian judge gave it a 10. Hashtag strong work." Thanks for the endorsement, Matt. Much respect goes out to Matt for embracing the Survivor community like he has. I'd also like to give a shout out to some of my Twitter friends who aren't survivors but do support this show. Mikey Plotz, Sweating Bullets, Richie Hero, thank you. I'd also like to thank my Facebook friends who support this show, Darren, Dean, Dan, Doug, and Caveman. If I'm forgetting anybody, I'm sorry, I'll get you next time. So that's it for now. I'll see you guys next week.